was allegedly violated by our permits listed to Keith F. Hendricks. Dr. Hendricks is the owner of is the listed owner as the Office Sports Grill. And Section 6 covers unauthorized entertainment on the premises and immoral conduct also on the premises.
Is that a short section that can be read for the record by the attorney?
It's not a short section.
Would you just read the part that is pertinent then, please?
(6-5) Unlawful activities, prohibited activities, and warning notice is the title of the section. Generally, it shall be unlawful for the holder of any permit issued under the provisions of this chapter to permit any disturbance of the peace or vicinity, or any lewd, immoral, or improper entertainment, conduct, or practices in the permitted premises, or to operate the business in such a manner as to constitute a nuisance. And then under section J, subsection J, nudity, no person who has received a permit under any ordinance of the city for the sale or dispensing of alcoholic beverages for on-premises consumption, including private club permits, shall suffer or permit any person to appear on the permitted premises in such manner or attire as to expose to view any portion of the pubic area, anus, vulva, or genitals, or any simulation thereof, nor suffer or permit any female to appear on the premises in such manner or attire as to expose to view any portion of her breast below the top of the areola or any simulation thereof.
Okay, is that the only violation that we are considering?
Yes.
Yes, that is my understanding.
And so I'm going to take it from that we're considering there was some form of nudity that we're considering.
Yes. Before we proceed on, committee will bear with me for a minute. Mr. Hendricks has representation here that I think would like to address the committee. Could you state your name for the record, please?
I'm Michael Langley. Thank you all for allowing me to be here today. I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. Carol and I just spoke about making sure that we acknowledge that the file is going to be made part of the record, and that's taken care of on behalf of Ms. Pollard and Dr. Hendricks. First thing I'd like to do is apologize to you, the board, to the mayor, to the city council, to citizens of Jonesboro, and to the patrons and members and guests of the office that we have to be here today and that this event occurred. It's unfortunate and should never have happened. We have taken a look at everything, and it is on our behalf that we take full responsibility for what occurred on 1/20/18. It was our outlet, our employee that participated, and while Dr. Hendricks and Ms. Pollard did not know any of this was going on and had no acknowledgement that this type of activity was going to occur, at the end of the day, as the rule reads, it's our responsibility as the not the managers, but as the people who operate this outlet to take responsibility. We own that, and we again apologize. But what occurred, whether it was a patron or it was not sponsored by the office. Let me be clear about that. This was not something that the office arranged or brought in. Somebody from the outside did, but our manager participated. Our manager misled in the investigation, and as a result has been fired. And we've taken the steps we think necessary to start moving forward. But first is accepting responsibility. If I can give you a quick little bit of background from our perspective. The event occurred as soon as Dr. Hendricks heard about it. He called and notified the ABC. After speaking with the ABC attorney, it was explained to me that they considered it a self-reporting incident, that Dr. Hendricks reported it himself and it was not reported by some other instance. The ABC issued a fine of $3,000, which has been paid and has placed these folks on probation for 1 year. And if you are, with my experience, that leads you to be held to a much higher standard for the year that follows. What occurred is we inquired of our employees what happened on that evening, and we received a narrative. And that narrative led to us feeling that it was not something that had occurred with activity from our staff, and the staff had immediately interrupted it. Subsequent to that, as I continued the investigation, I spoke with Ms. Duncan. Ms. Duncan provided me a copy of the tape or video recording. That video recording revealed something completely different. As soon as we realized that that staff member was involved and had committed acts that are to us appalling, we immediately terminated her and began to take steps to improve how things operate at the office. We have, as I said, we fired the manager. Ms. Pollard has stepped in and taken a more day-to-day role until we can find an appropriate manager to fill in. We have set the ABC has a class that if you're an applicant and you have to be you happen to be the manager, you're required to complete this class before you can receive a permit. They tell you everything from taxation to what you can and cannot do. And on April the 12th, the entire staff will go down there and take that class so that we don't have an issue with the chain of command where the person at the top takes a step like this and prevents us from not knowing what's going on. That's probably not said as clear as it should. We want everybody to know what the rules and regulations are. At the same time, ServSafe is a company, it's a nationwide company about alcohol responsibility that's certified in the state of Arkansas, and each employee is going to take that class and be certified. It benefits insurance rates, it benefits with the ABC, and it's certainly a good thing that we recommend everybody take. Again, we've paid the $3,000 fine, accepted the probation. If the city, if live entertainment, and when I say live entertainment, I mean bands only, this type of entertainment, which was again brought in by somebody from the outside, will never occur in this outlet again. But if live entertainment is allowed in the form of bands, then before anybody will be allowed to come in as a band, Dr. Hendricks and Ms. Pollard have committed to hiring certified law enforcement officers to be security there at all times when there's going to be live entertainment, and we'll coordinate with whomever at local law enforcement would like. We'll put together a security plan and discuss that with the police chief or whoever the police chief tells us to go talk to, so that is properly handled and mandated. They have asked, they've made an application for dancing. It hasn't been taken up yet. When they say dancing, it's just like going to the prom. If the music's playing, customers want to dance, they will do that. They recognize now, after several years of operation, that they were outside of the ABC rules and regulations, and they have taken steps to step back into those regulations. There's been no live entertainment since this first arose. There will not be any until the ABC takes action, decides one way or the other. Ms. Pollard and Dr. Hendricks are committed to making this work. They want to be good corporate citizens. They want to continue to have an opportunity to make an impact. Let you take a look at that first. This is an example of what the proceeds from the office office go to, which is helping people with dental issues around the world and repairing them, and also donations and things that have been given. And they want the opportunity to continue try to be a contributor in those areas this way. It's been we've now been, it's a little over 2 months, but after corrective action's been taken, we've had no issues with the ABC or anyone else. The ABC agent who handled this, Jesse King, is here, and if you do desire to inquire, I spoke with him earlier. His statement to me was that Dr. Hendricks got out in front of this, was cooperative, was professional, did not run from it, immediately made them aware of what the problem was. I know y'all haven't dealt with these issues very much. I can recall one when I was the ABC director of an issue with a downtown outlet that had an incident, and it broke out, and it was the second or third incident at that outlet involving violence. And for them, you gave them probation for 1 year. And they abided by that and took that into account. The reason why probation is important and so effective here in Jonesboro is your rules and regulations state that if somebody is on probation and they have a violation, y'all are required to revoke their permit. And that's a pretty heavy standard to hold on to. And we would ask to allow us to continue our beneficial work, to allow us not to lose enormous amounts of money. I think it's, depending on whether there's a band or not, it's a $30,000 to $40,000 a month revenue generator. That's gross, not net, but if you shut them down for a period of time, you don't only just lose that period of time of lost revenue, but the loss of business will multiply that 3 or 4 times, and trying to get back is almost impossible. We would ask that you follow in the footsteps of the ABC, put them on a year's probation, hold them to the standard that y'all have, allow the $3,000 to serve as a penalty. That's roughly what I would say a weekend without bands is in these days. With bands, it's about double that, and that we be able to go that we be able to go forward. I'm certainly open to any questions or anything that you'll have. I just want to reiterate that we apologize, we accept responsibility, and we hope we can move forward and continue to be our efforts to redeem